you ready, true Sega believers, for the most iconic Capcom fight? Oh, wait a minute. It's not a Capcom fighting game, but it is a crossover fighting game. Yes, it's me. It's Dan the Mega Driver. And I'm joined, as ever, by the honey to my pie. It's James the Sega. How you doing, mate?
We don't expect me to flash anything here, mate. I was expecting the Akira to my band. I'm getting the Yunen Hyundai Oz ready, and you've hit me with it.
Well, but I've given you Akira before, I've given you Barn before, I've got to give you something different, mate. You can't just keep shouting your mama's crap at me all the time.
Well, I mean, you know, the two good ladies of Sega fighting games you've chosen there right enough, so aye. I'm not complaining getting candy, you know what I mean?
Oh, they both beat the crap out of us, mate.
Aye, I know that. I'm a shite bag.
I'll try it as we're recording this. Obviously, I recorded some footage of a short I was doing earlier, so I'm wearing the same shirt, but got flattened by Candy in the first stage of the novice section.
Oh.
Shameful.
Apart from that, mate, how you doing otherwise?
Yeah, good. It's been very little time for gaming lately. The birthdays and trips away, loads of work. So I've just not had much time to do much gaming-wise. I've barely been on Twitter, but hopefully things will calm down now. But I'm ready to get into some good old-fashioned Sega chat, mate. How about yourself?
Aye, it's funny you're saying you don't have much time for Twitter. I don't have Twitter at all now, so you know, I have departed the Muskverse.
Yeah, I have to remember the outro. Yeah, you can't find the Sega-holic
because he's fucked off.
So he left the building.
Aye, but no, I'm pretty much the same, mate. I've not kind of a great deal of time to kind of sit down and enjoy kind of any personal gaming. I think the most gaming I'd managed to do was for the Sega touring car video for the race debut episode, which is going great guns as we speak. So apart from that, that's pretty much it. I've been more or less the same, mate. And that took that 12.5-minute video took about 4 days on and off because of work and family stuff and just life in general. And then I recorded the game footage and forgot to change my capture device to AAC audio because LumaFusion doesn't like MP3 audio, so all my footage was all in mute. So a wee span on the works, that's what led to the day delay that I had to announce. So apart from that, mate, all good.
It went down a storm, that one, mate. It was great stuff. And all our viewers who tuned into that one, thank you. It was brilliant work, mate. Superb.
Cameras there. I tried to Chuck Norris. Cause it's mirrored. So.
I know. I always put my camera on before I start and I look at my hair and I'm like, right, my parting's over here. The only thing I've really been playing is Grandia.
Yes, I did see that you'd finished disc 1. Disc 2?
Disc 1. There's only 2 discs for Grandia. It's a beautiful game, just full of so many moments. Just superb. So, yeah, when I first did my Saturn Top 50, it was number 50 because I hadn't played much of it and I'd only played it in Japanese. And that was obviously a few years ago, but now playing a translated version, but with the Japanese voice acting, it's just truly special, mate. But
on the Fenrir, I take it,
on the Fenrir, yeah, the big Sega Extreme,
version.
Yeah, the big Sega Extreme splash at the beginning.
Brilliant, brilliant.
But no, I feel good about that one because obviously get it from Sega Extreme, patched it, and I've obviously got the original back there as well, which I feel legitimizes my use of a ROM.
I think you've got a fair amount of stuff there that legitimizes the use of a ROM, mate. So
well, like, Sega had my money back in the day, more than their share.
They had mine as well, but I'm afraid I no longer have it to show. But I mean, I've got that. So that's from Retro Prime, by the way. I helped him out with his GDMU and Fenrir stuff, so he very kindly sent me that as a thank you.
Oh, fantastic, mate! Yeah, it's a lot neater behind you. It's just chaos behind me.
That's because I set it up before we record, mate. It's like there's usually fake plants and candles and shit up there.
All our viewers would be looking at it, think it'd be the new Phil Spencer shelf, mate, at this rate.
Aye, there's hints for future content up there.
Oh, maybe we should do something like that. But we digress, mate. We've both been given the Saturn some love. Yourself with Sega Touring Car, me with Grandia. But we're here to talk about a very special fighting game, which is celebrating its 26th birthday this month.
Yes, mate, and it's one that you would think, surely, and we've mentioned it before in a pretty recent previous episode, you would think that this was a shoe-in for a sequel. And given the plethora of Sega content we've had in those 26 years, the new franchises, everything we've seen, that surely Fighters Megamix would get a sequel. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to envisage the Dreamcast of Fighters Megamix 2 if it was ever to happen. A bit of fun. I think it's a game that a lot of us would like to see, given how good the first game was. So, we're going to go through the cast and some kind of game modes and things like that we think would be great if they ever did it. So please do it, Sega, please.
Yeah, hear us out.
We don't charge anything.
It'll be free consultants.
We don't want commission for all the Saturns that we've sold. You know what I mean? We're fine. We do it for the love.
But yeah, in case any of our viewers or listeners don't know what Fighters Megamix is, it is essentially a mix of fighting games. Quite frankly, it's the Ron Silver Quick Draw and Red Stain of the Saturn library. It's the Virtua Fighters versus the Fighting Vipers with a little bit of Virtua Fighter Kids, Sonic the Fighters, Virtua Cop, and a bunch of other crazy stuff thrown in. And yeah, I think what was so appealing about it, mate, was the wealth of context and just so how off the wall it was at times.
I think we said before, whenever we briefly mentioned it on the 3D Fighters episode that we did, is that it did feel a wee bit like Sega were reacting to the way that Namco were bringing beat 'em ups from the arcades to the home. They were trying to add more home mode specific kind of content, stuff that would appeal for a longer term. We've mentioned like Tekken Bowling, the Force mode. And while Megamix doesn't have anything as off the wall as that, it's got like multiple paths you can combine, Fighting Vipers with Virtua Fighters. There's crazy hidden characters, Pepsi Man, the Hornet from Daytona, Janet from Virtua Cop 2. So just throwing kind of wacky, different kind of franchises together into one big smorgasbord of Sega-ness, It's this, but it was great. I mean, it's arguably the best beat 'em up on Saturn in terms of sheer volume of content and gameplay. And obviously with the Virtua Fighter side again, as we mentioned, they all got an upgrade. The Virtua Fighter cast got a complete upgrade. They were essentially the Virtua Fighter 3 characters.
Yeah.
So again, you get that little bit of extra content again in terms of moveset and things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting because the whole Virtua Fighter cast was present and correct with their Virtua Fighter 3 moveset, even Jirao. Whereas Oi from Virtua Fighter 3 made her way into the game via Janet from Virtua Cop. She is just basically that character from Virtua Fighter 3 with a gun. The only character you don't really have for Virtua Fighter 3 is Taka Arashi. But it was phenomenal, and it really was, this was 2 years before Smash Brothers came along and gave you, at the time, just 8 Nintendo characters. And what Smash Brothers would become, this huge crossover franchise with people coming from all over, is essentially what Fighters Megamix was. Because I was thinking the other day, the Saturn was the home of the crossover fighting game. You had the King of Fighters, which was Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury. What is that shooting game like? Ikari Warriors. All these SNK franchises were thrown into one game. You had the Capcom Marvel fighting games, and then you had this as well. So it really was, crossovers are nothing new these days. You get a crossover character in every fighting game, it seems. But it really crystallized on the Saturn, I think.
No, 100%. And as I say, it is interesting you actually mentioned that the Saturn's got that many crossovers.
Yeah,
Obviously the Marvel and Capcom ones straight away. Now you think about it, they come to mind instantly. But I think it's because people kind of focus on the fact it was those two kind of massive 3D franchises.
yeah.
But the 2D side was certainly not neglected either.
It wasn't, mate. It wasn't. But yeah, it still stings a bit. And I think we mentioned this on the 3D Fighters episode that we never really got this sequel. And it felt like the logical step, especially after Fighting Vipers 2, Virtua Fighter 3, the Dreamcast. What could it look like on a Dreamcast? So it just feels like a huge, still feels like a huge missed opportunity, especially given how successful stuff like Super Smash Bros. Has become. But that's why we're here to now.
It's bizarre that they've just neglected it, but I mean that's something we could say about Sega across the board. I know there's obviously license issues with stuff like maybe like Sega Rally and Daytona and Scud Race, and we've said on here umpteen times, people have said it on other podcasts, other blogs, Twitter. Why don't they bring out a collection of their AM2 games or AM3 games? And well, there's license issues with that.
Yeah,
this is their own fighting games. It's like there's no Castrol or Gulf or any Martini logos anywhere. It's just your own custom content, bespoke, your fighting games. Why aren't you bringing them back?
but that's what we're here for, mate. We're here to say, right, Sega, you need to bring these back, and here's our ideas. And I think it comes down to start us off, as you rightly said, mate, the Dreamcast, not the console, but the cast of characters, the character cast. Who would you have in here? I think you've got to have your Virtua Fighters and your Fighting Vipers at the very core.
Yep.
Now, that obviously is quite a bloated cast already, given there's now 20 Virtua Fighters as Final Showdown or Ultimate Showdown. Fighting Vipers 2 had 15 characters already. You're looking at 35, but you've got to start with them, haven't you?
Aye. So, I mean, I think if we just sat here and went, right, there's all the Virtua Fighters and there's all the Fighting Vipers, that would just be far too easy. That's no controversial enough. So when it comes to the Virtua Fighters, I have taken the decision, because it's my decision to make apparently, because I'm designing this game. Is that CEO Sega Europe, Segaholic. I am only including the Virtua Fighters from Virtua Fighter 2.
Those 10.
Yep. So Akira, Jackie, Jeffrey, Wolf, Pie, Lau, Sarah, Cage, Lion, and Shun-Di.
That's a good shout.
For me, the reason being is that I still think Virtua Fighter 2 is the pinnacle of the series. Taka Arashi, I don't think he added much to the game, and he wasn't a great character. I didn't have any fun with him on the
I love Taka Arashi. For some reason, I gravitate to sumos in fighting games, but
I mean, we should have an Eddie Honda T-shirt on then, mate. That's it.
Yeah, I know. But for some reason, it's not a week that doesn't go by that I I'll all of a sudden have his theme in my head.
It's like a jazz parlor, isn't it, or something? It's a weird.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Aye, but aye, and then obviously I'm going to not try and butcher her. Is it Aoi or how you pronounce her name?
Yeah.
Now she's got a lovely stage, the snowy stage and all that in Virtua Fighter 3, and she was the kind of the character that was used to show off Model 3 with that swooping arm movements with the material hanging down. But aye, she's getting binned, mate. I'm just keeping the see. Tom Kalinske should have taken me in to see Nakayama. That's getting binned, mate.
No, I had a very similar. So obviously, I did a blog post a couple of years ago now for the old Sega Guys blog, and I went through this similar exercise. Now it was around a roughly the same way of thinking, but I thought, let's get Lei Fei in there from Virtua Fighter 4. Reason being is I think as a character he's pretty iconic, and Virtua Fighter 4 is the second best selling game in the series on home hardware. I thought, give it a little bit of.
Mate.
I know
it was on PS2. Come on, man.
But Lei Fei is iconic. The old monk, great flowing robe, great example of what Naomi 2 could do at the time. So Lao Chan got bumped for him. For Lao Empire, you don't need Lao Empire. They're both too similar.
You're binning the father-daughter rivalry.
Yeah, too similar. if you got Ryu and Ken in the game, you got to bin one of them off. That's what Marvel vs. Capcom 1 did. Don't need them both.
That's true. Aye.
So yeah, that's what I did. And for the Fighting Vipers, I actually only had 5 of them. I had Barn, Raxel, Picky, Honey, and Sandman. So, looking at that 5, I couldn't tell you who I'm missing, to be honest.
I mean, I had Jane, Raxel, Tokyo, Sandman, and Ban as my.
God, how could I leave Tokyo off? He's like my main character.
I know. I'm sitting here going, he's made a mistake here.
All right, Tokyo's in.
There you go. Who's getting banned? Are you just adding them?
I'm adding him. He's coming back in.
Mate, it doesn't matter. See if you left him out, it's a day 1 patch, mate.
It is DLC.
Exactly. You know.
Marla's DLC, I reckon, the boss.
Aye. His big snake helmet.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. No, I think maybe you have to have some representation from Fighting Vipers 2 as well.
Aye. I mean,
who was the one with the guy with the mountain bike and the girl with the robotic teddy on her?
Oh, jeez. There's people shouting it, isn't there?
There is. I can't remember their names for the life of me. But I don't know. Fighting Vipers 2 was never as iconic, whereas Virtua Fighter has still been fairly, if not a blockbuster fighting series, but it's been respected all these years. Fighting Vipers 2 kind of, came and went without much fanfare at all.
Aye, and again, I think it's one of the best, Model 3 ports on the Dreamcast, but sometimes it gets kind of picked apart because of the backgrounds. I've seen people saying the backgrounds aren't good enough. I'm like, it's like, well, again, to a naked eye looking at it, back then I thought it looked nigh on identical. Much like I think VF3, I'll die in that hill. I think VF3 TB is brilliant on Dreamcast. So
I agree, mate. Beyond those two, then, mate, I had the Last Bronx guys. You've got to have Last Bronx in there. Missed out in Fighting Megamix 1 by coming out a year later, or was it the same year? 97, wasn't it?
97.
We literally just did that 3D Fighters episode with all the dates.
What's that, mate? It's been too much happening. By the way, I've still got so high, like for a touring car, I can hear it. I've been hearing that in my sleep. Open up your eyes and read. Like Stevie Wonder sitting swaying from side to side.
You need to set it as your alarm.
Get divorced, mate. Mate, my basic snooze on my iPhone's enough to cause a riot in the morning. Imagine me setting so high as my alarm. Jesus.
You'd be like that.
I'm up. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, Lost Bronx. So again, I think a handful of characters from there. You got the main one, Yusaku. Got to have Kurosawa in there.
He's the man.
He is the man, isn't he?
Oh, aye.
Wooden sword.
His big wooden stick.
Just him pummeling Akira.
As I say, it's the fact that he's got that 3 kind of, and he's got the other one that's like he kind of swishes it, and the third one's a big uppercut with one hand, sends you flying up there. It's like, go back to.
Yeah, it's the way he does it, isn't it? It's not like you know, he's not a martial artist. He's just wailing on them.
No, he's
It's like,
not. He's just a guy that in the intro's hiding down a lane, watching people getting ready to kick the dung at them. So if you watch the intro, that's what
yeah.
he does. He's just like, oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a handful of characters from that: Lisa, Kurosawa, Tommy, Zamoku, and Yusaku. But they need some representation in a sequel. I mean, the game was massive in Japan.
Yep, spin-offs and everything, toys, anime series, comics.
They have a movie as well.
I think so. No,
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter had a couple of animated series as well. It would be nice if they were translated somewhere.
Oh, I was watching the double one recently, and it's interesting. I'll give it that. You know, Akira's like a teenager who's got, you know, who's the usual kind of anime trope like Goku or Naruto, you know, where they eat loads and they're kind of goofy, and then they become all serious when they have to fight.
And they quite have Akira down as that sort of character, you know.
He comes bumbling in the very beginning of the episode saying that he's going to do the all-you-can-eat dumpling challenge.
Sounds a bit like Fuxan for Shenmue, like a bumbling idiot, man. Look what they do, Hazuki Sensei. I'm sorry, I hate the English voice acting in Shenmue. It's fucking dreadful.
It is, mate. It is. Any more to say on the last Bronx crew?
I think I've got pretty similar ones to yourself. Obviously Kurosawa. I've got Hiroshi or Tommy. You know, Yasuka. He's mad bendy nunchuck style stick. Aye, so that was ones I had. Yeah, Kurosawa, Yasuka, Tommy, and who else did I have in there? I had Yoko Kono.
Yeah,
where Mad Sticks.
Yeah, she's quite iconic as well.
Yeah, her stage is the subway, the underground subway stage as well, which is obviously the kind of VDP2 showcase, I think, of the game on Saturn, because that just goes for miles, that roof and all that. So
yeah, someone was showing footage of it a bit earlier this year, or a few weeks ago actually, on Twitter. People like this was a Saturn game. Yeah, yeah,
and they aren't 3D backgrounds either. People say, "Oh, the first Saturn fighting game with full 3D backgrounds." No. It's just very, very clever use of VDP 1 and 2.
Even more clever than the Virtua Fighter backgrounds. They actually do look solid. Whereas when the camera pans up and then the castles in Lao Chan stage are still like that direction.
The only thing that VF2, I think, that kind of takes you out of the moment a wee bit is the fact that the ring looks like it's floating whenever you catch it. That's the only thing that kind of takes you out of it a wee bit. But I'm not going to sit here and slag Virtua Fighter 2, man. It's just
no. It's similar to Sega Rally as well. When it does the replay and it pans out and it gives you the occasional angle where it's obviously outside the track. Obviously, no one modelled the ground where certain trees are standing. So you just got it looks like the track's just in midair with random trees popping out.
You're racing in the sky, basically.
It's a heavenly game, mate.
That is indeed. So I think it's a good representation for Last Bronx there. They kind of I left out Saburo with his big hammer. He's just, even as much as he kicks a dung at you whenever you fight him, but I don't think he's that iconic a character. You know, Yusaku with he's kind of the iconic kind of main man in the intro. Everything kind of focuses on him at the end. Also, Kurosawa was a big favourite. We said Yoko, iconic with those.
The thumpers.
So great stuff, mate. They need represented.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And you've got your big men with your Wolf and Jeffrey anyway. You don't need another one with a hammer.
Right.
Your muscle man.
I win. That would be fun if they gave me his Australian accent, wouldn't it? I win. So of all the Australian folk complaining now that I've butchered their accent. That's it.
Yeah. So some of the voice acting, especially in the later Virtua Fighters, is yeah. We won't go there.
There was a guy on YouTube I seen, and he took the VF5 Ultimate Showdown, like Akira cutscenes at the end for the victories, and he did an impression of how he thinks Akira would sound and done it in English. Oh, it was dreadful. You're 10 years too early. It's like, no, what are you doing?
Oh,
Like, just no. I'll need to send you it.
yeah, don't I?
I admire the guy for the effort he's put in it, but no, just leave him in Japanese, mate, please. People in the comments are going, "This would be a great update," and I'm going, "No, it wouldn't."
It's like it's like Wolf Hawkfield, doesn't it? Goes, or is it Wolf or is it Il Blaze? Might be Il Blaze. You know, he's this tiny little lucha libre wrestler.
He's Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, he's basically Rey Mysterio,
Aye.
and he's got that "start running now."
Thing is, mate, when I first seen him, I just sat there going, "Booyaka, booyaka, 619."
I mean, that's why he was in there, right? I mean,
Christ, aye.
And that's why what is the Street Fighter 4 character called? L something in Street Fighter 4. He's another lucha libre, but he's a chef. He comes in, it's super dynamic cooking time. Have you not seen him?
No.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Oh, it's one Street Fighter I've not played a great deal of.
Oh, it's my favourite one. As I say, I've played like 3,000 matches of that. I was obsessed with it. But it's what I got a giant arcade stick and stuff. But yeah, he's a great character. But he's just Rey Mysterio.
So probably ties in with the whole craze. He was massive at that point in time.
I think that was when he'd won the title, wasn't he, for Kurt Angle and Edge at WrestleMania at the same time, or something along those lines. We're not a wrestling podcast.
I know. Jason will be sitting there probably correcting us, sitting at his desk, getting his work. If
you want to see what actually happened, look at Jason Madison in the comments below.
Aye, Jason will tell us.
Oh, who else is in your dream cast, mate?
So I basically thought Shenmue has to be represented, right? The fact it was Virtua Fighter RPG and Project Berkeley and all that kind of stuff. We know the history behind it. So I've got on my list here, I've got Ryu, Ren, Landy, Fuxan, just so I can kick the dung out of him. Tom, novelty character, right? Aereo. I've got Joy in there. I've got Don Neo, Shenhua, and is it Guizhang? Guizhan with a blue dress, catching the petals.
Oh, Guizhan's the isn't Guizhan the Master Chen's son, isn't it?
It's Xiuying.
Su Yenda.
That's her.
Yeah.
Right. Well done.
No, she's not Su Yenda. I can't remember her name.
I don't know. This one, I literally wrote it down, mate. I made sure I double checked it as well to make sure it was the right spelling.
It's like that era when in Tekken games, Tekken 3 and Soul Calibur, there was like Zungfa, which was just like a bunch of X's, Y's, and vowels. And I was just like, I can't pronounce this. If it wasn't for the announcer's voice in Soul Calibur, I wouldn't have a clue. This victory strengthened the soul of Zungfa.
Hunghua. Right, it's right. Very swords.
Yeah, you got to have a bit of a Shenmue in there, mate.
Aye. I mean, I think anybody would love to have the whole Ryu versus Landy fight, where you're in full control of it and finally get revenge. You know what I mean? Fly away in that helicopter again, I'll kick your shit.
Yeah. But I probably wouldn't have all of the characters in. I'd probably have them as like a Shenmue pack DLC.
Oh, you're going to fleece the gamers?
Well,
oh.
now hear me out.
Oh, Right,
don't think
market and pitch.
I don't think I don't think Fuxan probably has the kind of, if we're restricting the Virtua Fighter cast, do we think there's as much to warrant characters like Dio New, Fuxan?
Yes.
I mean, I love him, but if we're trying to be realistic about what's in the roster, maybe we don't have them in the main roster, and maybe they,
So
you got to have. I think you got to have Ryo, Landy, maybe Ren and Joy.
maybe then. No, Ren's got to be in there. He's quality. Like, Ryu and Ren are like the Riggs and Murtaugh of Shenmue 2.
Maybe you could have like Street Fighter does the dramatic battle mode. Have them two fighting Landy apart from they're handcuffed together.
So, but we'd take out Joy as well, and Tom. Then that's why you take it. Tom would come out then.
He's on the DLC pack. He's on the Shenmue pack for just $19.99.
Oh, fucking hell, man!
You've not seen these DLC passes these days.
You're going to sell a gold edition with all the DLC included for 200 quid, aren't you?
Look, if you buy a fighting game these days, you buy the normal game at 60 quid. You buy the online Ultimate Edition, which is about 80, and you'll get a few making of things, blah, blah, blah. We pay the £110 for the Ultimate Edition, and you get the Fighters Pack 1 and all the stuff that was in the Ultra Edition. But it's the same with them all, mate. I got King of Fighters, and I'm still waiting for the DLC 1 pack to go down in price. That's still 25 quid.
That's the thing, mate. The days of unlocking characters, just by playing them. You look at Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Play the game, earn points, spend them on the store in the game to unlock everything. It's like,
although could be argued that was the very first, microtransaction DLC driven game. Because although over here we could just play it and unlock everything. The Japanese version, you had to take that VMU and you had to plug it in, and you had to put your money in the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet.
That's right. That's why the Japanese version of the game is dirt cheap, because unless you can get a save on a VMU, you ain't unlocking that full roster.
Yeah,
which kind of renders the game kind of pointless in a way. Is it 52 characters?
Yeah, you can unlock some of them. I mean, it's dirt cheap. That's the version I've got. But you can get some way, but you can't get all of them. Yeah, there is like 52, I think, 26 on each side.
Mental.
But agree, mate. You've got to have some Shenmue in there. I had the Eternal Champions, maybe a little bit niche themselves now, but a big game that's quite well remembered. Even had a comic strip in Sonic the Comic, and had their own standalone comic, albeit it only lasted for one issue.
Bloody hell! That's a good shout, by the way.
Well, it's it did really well commercially until Sega Japan said, "No, you're not making another one. You're not making it for the Sega Saturn because that will impact Virtua Fighter. We need to protect Virtua Fighter from."
Aye. Bloody hell. That'd be a nice wee bit of fan service, I think.
Yeah.
Flinging them in.
Yeah, you got to throw them in. Just a handful. I've got Shadow, who's, the ninja girl with the black mask on. Blade, who's the basically the guy with sunglasses, the jumpsuit from the future. Midnight, who was the vampire. And Larson, who was like the private detective from the 1930s. And a few of them had their own standalone games as well. Larson, I think he did. Shadow definitely did. But yeah, I think get a few of those in. Get the rest of the cast in as DLC if you want.
It's the thing, mate. We've got all these gigabytes to play with.
I know.
We're not restricted by a CD-ROM or even a GD-ROM now. It's balls are oyster. We can put as much in as we want. I mean, again, I thought for craziness, no pun intended, whenever you hear two of these characters, I thought Amigo from Samba de Amigo, Ooh La La from Space Channel 5, Seaman obviously, from
Yeah.
Seaman. And then I've only chosen 2 of the Crazy Taxi drivers, right? And you're going, why the fuck has he put taxi drivers in? Right? I've put Axel and BD Joe from the original Crazy Taxi. Hey, we go have some fun.
You can imagine him, can't you? Isn't there? Round 1, we're gonna have some fun.
Exactly. His special move could be like, I don't know if you press like Marvel vs. Capcom, it's like 2 fireballs and all the punch buttons for your supers and stuff. Imagine your super in that. He's taxi, he hops off screen and then drives the taxi back on and knocks the guy down. You know, we go have some fun.
Yeah, he can not even summon like customers. No, they calls me and that woman walks across the screen and goes, "Watch it, you nearly killed me."
You're one hell of a driver.
They're all fantastic shouts, mate.
But see, the thing as well, whenever like BD Joe and Axel hit them with the taxi, you could get a wee counter comes on screen and the fare racks up. You know, just I've thought this too much.
But Ulala as well. You know, she can do the old choo choo choo.
Some moves you've got there, mate.
That's Dad Dancing 101.
Dad dancing at the weekend for Mr. Driver. There we go.
Yeah. And Amigo, I just think, you know, where you had Deku in the original Fighters Megamix, I don't know what he was. He was like a Mexican bean, wasn't he?
Aye.
But he had maracas.
That's right. Aye. So there you go. You're swapping one set of maracas for the other.
Yeah, a more recognizable set. Obviously, Amigo will be a lot more animated. Couple of franchises that we haven't mentioned, but Sonic had that in there. So you've got to have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik.
Right, they're a given.
Yeah, so they got to be in there. Streets of Rage, Axe and Blaze from those games. Don't necessarily need the rest.
Right, that would be enough kind of homage to that.
Yeah. Yakuza.
Oh.
Yeah, so Kiryu, Ichiban from the latest game, and Majima.
His eye patch.
You can, you can imagine, just imagine Ryo Hazuki versus Kazama Kiryu.
But you get Akira. He's like, yo, you're in Hyundai, and Kiryu comes on and starts dancing in the karaoke. And again, that could be like a special move.
Yeah.
For like Kiryu's special move could be that Majima comes in and the disco balls come on and then the lights all flash on the screen, you know, and then the other opponent's lying there completely done at the end of it because they've been mesmerised and knocked out by the karaoke greatness.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd buy this.
Mate, this game, Sega, what you doing? Make it.
Visualising it, even tell me how it's going to look.
Yeah. My others are Gilius Thunderhead, from Golden Axe, just him. He's the most recognisable. Don't need a Conan or whatever his axe battler. Gilius is the one that matters. Rystar, I think he'd be a cracking, with his stretchy arms.
Well,
nutting people.
The Dowsum of Megamix 2. Oh,
there we go. Knocking them out the park, mate, aren't we?
That's that, mate.
Yeah, Rystar, the grabs, he could shoot across the screen.
Now, he has already made an appearance, Transformed Racing, All-Star Transformed Racing. He's in there. He's already
rendered.
Yep, he's there. You know what I mean? The precedent has been set.
Yep. Janet, I think, makes a return for Virtua Cop.
Would you bring
Regent Smarty?
The main 2 men in?
I feel like they're the most iconic. Although, Janet made a lot of sense. But if we haven't got Aoi in the Virtua Fighter group, it makes sense to bring her in as she was in Fighters Megamix. But yeah, patch the others in later on.
That's it. A Virtua Cop pack
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the bosses, with King and Kong. Sure, I love you too. See me in the spar,
And when you get his health down to that, goes, give up, that's it.
I'll go 1-on-1 without a weapon. Against the specials for Janet, you could have like the Virtua Cop reticles could come in.
Yeah.
You know. There you go. That's it. See?
She's so broken in Megamix 1. You can do like 3 gut shots with a gun back to back.
Nah, I mean, nah. Just see again, we're not constrained by any visual technology. We've got the graphical power now. We can do these things. So that's it, mate.
That's it. Gum from Jet Set Radio.
Yep, got to have.
Maybe should have Beat as well.
Beating Gum with the 2. Hey, you. Do.
Comes the dead dancing again. Alex Kidd.
Aye, another nice wee novelty character.
With his big old fists.
Again, imagine that would animate. You know, just walk up this wee guy and then
giant fist comes out. It'd be. I mean, they'd have to implement him just like in the games, because he's obviously made to look like that monkey from Sun Wukong, wherever it is from the Chinese folklore. You know, same story that Dragon Ball pulls its lore from. You know, you ever watch Monkey Magic? Monkey Magic.
Oh, mate, you've just unlocked a memory there.
With his floppy cloud.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man. Monkey Magic. Oh man, I used to watch that when I was a wee guy.
Oh yeah, same here. It's brilliant.
Wow, there you go. I remember that. Eh?
Yeah, it all comes from Journey to the West. So, you know, there might be the temptation to make him like a Chinese martial artist, but just make him a little kid with big fists. Maybe does the old Rock says his paper on people.
Maybe just actually leave him exactly as he was. It kind of do it as a stylized 8-bit character.
Yeah.
Just leave him as he is. Don't try and upgrade him. Just leave him as he is.
What a great idea, mate. Like the most recent Smash, and I think the one before had Mr. Game & Watch, and he was basically just a Game & Watch sprite that doesn't animate.
So just leave Alex Kidd exactly as he was.
Exactly as he was. Yeah.
This modern looking game, there's wee 8-bit Alex Kidd walking about. That'll do.
That'll do. A couple of off the wall ones, mate. The Oprah, the ship from Phantasy Star.
Hi. Well, we had the Daytona car, you know.
Yeah. We got that, and we got to have the Daytona car as well. It's got to be there.
The Daytona car led to me adding another off the kind of wall idea. Let's have the ultimate Sega racer showdown. Daytona Hornet versus Toyota Celica. And if you pick them against each other, you don't get round 1 fight. You get 3, 2, 1.
You get rolling start.
They
could get we'll bring the Ferrari in from Outrun.
Christ, there we go. Right, we've got a driver's DLC.
Yeah, driver's pack.
Brilliant.
Those were the ones that I had from my blog post. I've got a couple of more.
Go on.
Right, Hatsune Miku. So you heard of her, the Vocaloid?
No.
Oh, it's so these are rhythm games. God, there's Radio Sega guys right now screaming at us. So, but they're like rhythm games. Really popular, huge in Japan. Now she's not a Sega character per se, because Sega actually licensed her, but Sega have made all the games that she is in. So she's almost de facto a Sega mascot. I think she was featured heavily in kind of the Sega 60th promo art in Japan. my eldest daughter absolutely loves her. Plays a lot of the game. The games are on the phone. You can get them on PS3, PS4, but of course only in Japan.
Aye.
But yeah, I think she's got to be in there.
That's certainly off the wall, mate.
It is. Joker from Persona 5. Obviously, it feels crazy now. I mean, this shows our age, mate. We're picking characters from the 80s and 90s, but in the modern day, Sega is Atlas as well, and Atlas is Persona, and Joker. You know, there's the reason why he's in Smash is because he's so popular. Again, I think he's got to be in a Sega crossover fighting game.
Aye. I mean, great shout. Great shout.
And one more, and you're going to love this one.
Go
You're
on.
going to say, Dan, you're a genius. And this could have only been made possible by things that have happened this year. Red from Angry Birds.
Oh my god, man. Oh.
No, I was actually thinking, in all seriousness, I wouldn't just put Red from Angry Birds in. I was thinking somehow you just have a birdhouse, and depending on your attack, the individual birds fly in.
Aye. The special move for that, the catapult comes out and it's just
Yeah.
a barrage. The green pig.
Oh, that's what the character is. It's the Angry Birds catapult. And you do different moves. Punch is the red one. Green is kick is the green triangle one. You do a special move and the bomb one comes out, or the heavy one.
Oh, I mean, there was two others that are nowhere near as off the wall as that. Now, have I got the name of the Vanquish character correct? Lieutenant Colonel Robert Burns? Is that, if I'm thinking?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
I mean, for some reason, calling a guy that skates about with a gun on his arse on a tea tray, calling him Rabbi Burns is a bit,
Yeah.
I get haggis, sneeps and tatties there, Rabbi, But I thought the lead character from Vanquish and Bayonetta.
I was thinking I was going to kick myself just now. I could have not include Bayonetta because they are. I think we mentioned this before. They are Sega characters.
Yep.
Platinum made the games. The Sega own the IPs.
Whether, of course, Nintendo would be so kind enough to allow that to happen. Well, then the game would be on Switch anyway because it'd be across all platforms. We're not biased here.
No, it doesn't matter what Nintendo say. Bayonetta is a Sega character.
It's a Sega character.
That's why the recent HD remakes of both games came to PS4 and Xbox One. So Nintendo can go swivel.
I'm just literally checking this now, mate, because I need to know if the Vanquish guy is called Robert Burns.
The name rings a bell. I'm not sure if Robert Burns is the main character or if it's the gruff, lieutenant that goes around and berates you.
No, he's a big guy.
Yeah, stick him in as well. He's a great character.
Aye,
he's an arsehole.
Well, is he Scottish with that name? I mean, it would make sense if he was an arsehole, wouldn't
it? No, who's he voiced by? I can't remember. It's gonna bug me now. Robert Burns in Vanquish. Right. Who are you voiced by? He is voiced by
Steve Blum.
Steve Blum. Yeah.
There you go, mate. I'd have the main guy, the lead character. I got his name wrong, but I'd have the lead character for Vanquish and Bayonetta. I think, again...
Sam Gideon is the lead character. That's the one.
Sam, that's it.
My mate Sam.
My mate Sam. So that bad Ted over there, don't I? That's
Steve,
fine.
Steve Blum, I know from voicing Starscream in Transformers Prime.
Hi. Bloody hell, there you go. I'm just going to do the rest of the podcast as Ted Lasso.
Why not, mate?
We all love us some Sega over here.
I've still not seen that.
brilliant show. It could be worse. I mean, I think I'm more closer to Roy Kent from Ted Lasso than Ted Lasso. An angry guy that likes to swear and doesn't like people. I mean, that's just
It's relatable though, isn't
aye, that's just called your 40s.
it?
You'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, I'm not far off, mate.
Oh, brilliant.
So, did you have anyone else?
No, that was
That's enough, isn't it?
anyway. I feel the need to do the bit of the end game. Wait, you wanted more? Brilliant. Big circles opening up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, characters coming through. Mate, that could be the intro. There you go. Your
Yeah.
rendered intro. Need a rendered intro for the game, you know?
You've got it. The original had a rendered intro. And even though no one's doing any fighting in it except for Barn and Akira. So I was watching it earlier when I was doing the recording the first part of the playthrough. And back then it was so, and it still gets you hyped. But you watch it now and it is dated like Akira's palm is just like you see go like that. It's just like he touched Barn. He's like,
It's a stun palm of doom, mate. That's
yeah.
it. That's it.
It's got to have a rendered, yeah. All coming through the portals, the Sega cinematic universe.
That's it. Oh, that's now we're talking, mate. Now we're talking.
Where's the Fighters Megamix film as well? They give you that big, the big logo and the Sega, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie intro. You can see the Saturn boot up screen in there. You see like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage all over the place. We need more Sega movies, and we need a Fighters Megamix crossover.
Well, we're getting the Streets of Rage movie, so
We are.
See how that is. I mean, the two Sonic movies have been great, so
yeah.
high hopes for it.
So that's our roster, mate. Of don't know. I didn't count how many we got to. Probably about 50.
Easily, mate.
That's still healthy, but reasonable, given that Smash Brothers Ultimate started with 80.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Smash Ultimate had 80. I think the new Street Fighter has about 40. So, and that's already announced its DLC as well.
Of course. Of course it has.
Akuma is DLC for that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's I mean, my man Honda said he's not DLC in it, so I'm happy, but it's just the way of the world, mate.
That's it. No more unlocking it by completing the game 45 times.
There's that one character in Fighters Megamix you have to unlock him by turning the console on and off 30 times, don't you?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
I remember doing it a few times when I was a kid, like not unlocking him. But we can see how many times he powered one. And I think I was at like 18 or something. So I start going, well, actually, I'm not doing that. I'm breaking the thing.
Aye, that's a stupid way to. I mean, see if it was historical and it remembered like over a length of time.
Yeah.
But if it was like 30 consecutive on and offs.
Yeah, I think that's how you unlock Mr. Meat. And in the palm tree, you have to play for so many hours.
Nah, I'm not. Even with a Pico PSU or a Saturn PSU inside that, I ain't turning that on and off 30 times in a row.
You're literally playing with fire.
Aye. Capacitors and resistors on that motherboard. I go, what the fuck you doing? It's like sitting there like Scotty. You just got take it, Captain. We don't have the power.
In The Force Awakens, when Poe Dameron's been captured by Kylo Ren, he's getting interrogated.
Fighters Megamix disc is in there like Kylo Ren. More! More!
Plenty of characters, mate. You've got to have a few stages in there as well, haven't you?
Oh, aye. I mean, the ones that we spoke about earlier on kind of WhatsApp, I think like the Hazuki Dojo, Warehouse Number 8, the docks, the rooftop where you fight, Don, was it? You say his
Don
name,
you.
that's I butcher pronunciations, honestly. And Landy flies off in his helicopter. So I think kind of iconic sets from kind of Shenmue, and I think kind of game mode wise as well. I think we obviously had like the Fighting Vipers path, the Virtua Fighter path, the Novice path, all that kind of stuff. But having like a Shenmue path,
Yeah.
Something like that, where obviously depends if you maybe attach that to the DLC because you've stripped out half the characters that are picked. Can't follow much of a storyline. You could fit if you buy the Shenmue pack.
You get
You get
the
Tom.
Shenmue.
So you fight in front of the hot dog stand. Oh, the street with the arcade on it.
You arcade.
There you go. So, I just think also Space Channel 5 as well. There's some iconic set pieces in that. Samba de Amigos got them. So those would all be, shout outs. Again, we touched on the last Bronx stuff, like the subway station. Was it the Midnight Garden stage as well? That's the one where you get the big looks like a big clock tower sort of thing in the background, and looks great. There's plenty to choose from in there.
You could have so many.
Aye, again, every character would have to have a stage.
Yeah, they're so thin on the ground these days in fighting games. What was I playing recently? I was playing something, and there was like literally 7 stages. I think it's Dragon Ball Fighters. There's literally about 7 stages, and 2 of them are like just different time of day swaps. You got to have every character's got their own. And now the Virtua Fighter and Fighting Fighters have their own stage, but you got to have your own stages for your characters as well.
Aye, I mean, if you look as well again to bring up like Sonic All Star Racing Transformed.
Yeah,
the amount of Easter eggs that was in the backgrounds and stuff, and I think Sega would be able to do something like that with all the stages.
Yeah,
for Megamix 2, there'd be things in the background that would maybe happen that would catch your eye. I mean, geez, a franchise we just didn't pick. I've just thought.
go
Of nothing from Panzer Dragoon.
Oh shit! Yeah, who would you have? Edgy.
Aye. Round 1, Rua.
Oh, he could summon the dragon into blast him in between.
I could edge in an Azel.
Yeah.
Their specials would just wipe you out. KO.
No, you're right, mate. I think there's so many you could have, but you make a really good point about Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, and that inspired one. So I've got a few like Yakuza you'd have in Kamurocho, whether it's in the streets or in front of the Millennium Building or whatever they call it. That's quite an easy one. Jet Set Radio in Shibuya Cho, the Sonic stage being Green Hill. But what I was thinking was in Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing Transform, there's something called the Race of Ages. And that was basically just all this. It was all basically like as if you were trapped in an arcade machine. It's very Tron-like.
Aye.
But had loads of Easter eggs in it. I was thinking the Sega Ages arena, where you've just got all you're in an arena and it's just maybe Sega arcades everywhere. You got Jimmy the cybernetic gamer in the background playing on his Mega Drive. You've got that's another one, mate. We should have had a Sagata Sanshiro in here as well.
Oh my! Oh, Saturn Dave's probably be shouting that for like the last 20 minutes. Oh, he's got to be there.
It's good.
You mentioned Tron, which made me think the wee guy for Rez.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But then if you go with the guy for Rez, you need to get the wee dude for Cosmic Smash.
There's just so much. I mean, the Space Harrier guy as well.
I think what we're kind of proving here is look how much heritage character-wise, unique character-wise, that Sega have got, and they're just going, mate, we're just going to buy Angry Birds.
No, they bought Angry Birds so they could put them in Fighters Megamix too, man. I'm sure of it.
That's it, mate. $776 million to do that.
That's what it is.
I admire that optimism.
Oh, yeah. Should have Segata Senshiro, should have the Space Harrier guy. It's just so many. But
see, whenever you pick a character in fighting games now, there's either a noise or like they say something. I mean, just imagine Segata Sanshiro.
They can all say something, can't they?
Aye.
Like, just click on the Space Harrier guy. Get ready.
You know, on gum. Hey, you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what would be great, mate. Did you ever play Soul Calibur 2?
Yes.
Did you ever, in the versus screen, you could make them shout things to each other?
That's right.
They'd be on like that, and you press the button, they go.
That's right.
The versus screens like that.
Aye. Just animate all their wee kind of portraits. Just growling at each other.
Yeah. Because that's it. Because I was playing a Street Fighter 6 demo the other day, and I was playing as Ryu, and you can move. It's got that in it, but he doesn't say anything. He just goes. You start that, and then you can move his. It goes.
Oh, could have some fun with the edit for
that. Yeah. Versus. Oh, talking about modes,
Driver versus Sega-holic. Okay, put us the game. Sega guys.
Do it like Guilty Gear as well. Instead of fight, let's rock. Heaven or hell, let's rock. I was playing that the other day. Wife was like, "What the hell are you playing?"
Oh man.
Some modes, mate. Did you have any thoughts on what sort of modes we'd have?
Just the kind of usual. I mean, what you'd mentioned earlier about the kind of the dramatic battle kind of thing. That's an absolute certainty going there. A 2-on-1 scenario. Aye, the Shenmue mode that I'd mentioned before, like kind of like story driven. If you had enough characters to obviously carry it out, again, you could have like your Virtua Fighter path, your Fighting Vipers path, your Last Bronx path. Again, we only picked 5 for Last Bronx, so might not be too long a path, but it's just, where do you start, mate? I mean, honestly, you could have like something else I thought as well. Again, I don't know how it would be implemented, but you could do it like if you enlarged a ring, so you had like a Virtua Fighter style ring, but you did like the Fighters Megamix Royal Rumble. So every 2 minutes, somebody new comes in.
And they'll only be eliminated if both feet touch the ground.
So wouldn't have to be like necessarily like a ring with ropes, just like a ring like a Virtua Fighter ring. Yeah. But I'm just imagining at some stage if you played it on like very easy and just going Akira and double kicking people out the ring, it'd just be ring out, ring over and over again.
Oh, but when you said that, I was thinking online multiplayer.
You know what I mean?
Battle Royale.
Right. I just think with the roster on show, that you just why limit it to 1v1 or 2v2 or 2v1, man? Get everybody in there.
Get everyone in it.
A big rammy.
Gary Oldman in Leon. Everyone.
That's right. That's a brilliant gift.
Oh, it's a superb film.
Who would buy this game? Everyone. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, but yeah, Battle Royale mode would be superb, like Royal Rumble mode. I had Team Battle mode. It's a stalwart. Been in every fighting game ever. It feels like at this point. But I had tag mode.
Aye. Again, taking a wee hint for Tekken Tag. I mean, Tekken stole enough for Virtua Fighter, so
Yeah.
it's only fair they take something back.
I mean, Tekken did steal that from X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Aye.
Whereas X-Men versus Street Fighter, you'd have the they go you get like King go, just say, and then someone comes like, oh. In Tekken they just basically just went,
aye,
just ran off the screen and came back.
Aye, it was quite cowardly in Tekken, wasn't it? It was like it was like I'm out of here,
Yeah.
and then next guy just runs on.
I mean, that's easy to implement, I'd imagine. Again, with modern technology.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's modes like that in some of the modern Mortal Kombats as well, where they just duck in, duck out. And I had not a story mode, but quest mode, very much like Virtua Fighter 4 and 5.
It's brilliant.
I mean, I'm not too keen on the story mode. In fact, I'm dead against story modes at the moment because I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. You know, I just said I was playing Guilty Gear, and I'm trying to finish that. I beat arcade mode, got an ending, got an achievement, lovely stuff. Started doing some of the quests, and that's basically a training mode. I did the story mode, so sat there. Oh, this is a long cutscene. Half an hour goes, chapter complete. Okay, watch the second one. Paused it, saved it, come back to it. All right, another chapter complete. Okay, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching it. I'm like, when do you fight in this? You don't. You just watch 4.5 hours of basically anime in video game graphics. I mean, it looks nice. I mean, it looks like an anime because of the graphical style, but I was just like,
I don't doubt it looks nice, mate, but I'm not having that.
And I was just like, why? Why have you done this thing? Like, you know,
that's mental.
I know it feels contrived sometimes when like you play Mortal Kombat and do the story modes in there, and like they just make up reasons for Sonya and Johnny Cage to fight each other.
Aye.
And then like you do the fatality on them and then they die, and then the next thing is going, no, so that was a good training session, huh? It was like, but
have your head back.
It's just like, why would you make a story mode and not have any game mode? Just do it as an anime series or something. And I was just like, Jesus, that was hard. So I am dead against no story mode. Fuck the story mode, man.
Aye, no, I'm not having that, mate. Don't have enough time to play games as it is without spending 4.5 hours watching cutscenes. No.
I think like what you said, like having the Shenmue ladder would be good, you know, and you play through the stages there. But it's like we were talking about Virtua Cop the other day, and just like when you're standing in the arcade with your gun, and just like telling you all the backstory, and just like, I'm not here for that. That's not why I'm here.
That's why I shoot people and shoot vans out of the air.
Yeah, it's like Fighters Megamix 2. I just want to punch a dragon in the face with a car.
Is that too much to ask people? It's a perfectly rational gamer request. It's just
but mate, I think this is in the classic Virtua Fighter mode, you know, that 3D fighting engine that's, you know, it's at this point Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is so refined. Obviously this would be as unbalanced as hell.
Oh god, aye.
And a lot of what takes development time for fighting games is getting the balance right. And I don't think Sega should waste time doing that. It's just this is just a fun game. I mean, I don't know if they got the balance in Smash Bros. I can't see how they balanced what's about 100 characters now with the DLC packs. But I don't think this needs it. It just needs, you know, it's good building that solid base. Just render the characters.
Throw everything in there, man, and just let people do what they want to do with it.
Yeah. And bring it on everything.
Aye, everything.
Maybe not the Switch, because the Switch probably, you know, when you got that 30 fight battle royale.
Switch light people like what's going on?
The smoke coming out of the vent on there. But no, and maybe the new Switch that's inevitably coming. But yeah, bring it out on everything.
Aye.
It's just, I think the thing about it, mate, is it just has to be a celebration of all things Sega.
And we've definitely shown, you know, that they have more than enough wealth to do it, you know, in terms of content, in terms of characters, in terms of uniqueness, in terms of craziness. You know, there's everything there you could possibly want.
It's near limitless. I mean, we kept picking the new stuff, like, you know, finding pennies behind the back of the sofa.
Oh, hold on, mate. Just found a franchise.
I'm sure there's loads that we've forgotten as well, like Toe Jam and Earl. No one mentioned that. There's Altered Beast. Altered Beast, how good would that be?
the demonic game, as Tom called it.
Oh, when we could be here all night, we'd end up with a roster of like 1,000, and
Aye, easily.
yeah, and that's like again, we're not making that. Piss off.
Aye, so we don't want commission. Just make it.
Just take some of these ideas,
build it, and they will come.
Yeah,
as he said in Field of Dreams.
Especially when you look at the legacy and the Megamixes left and the reception it got back in the day. I remember the doubles page preview in CMVG. The best fighting game ever is coming.
You know, and it stood the test of time. Doesn't have the high resolution mode of VF2 or you know, Last Bronx, but it more than makes up for that with the sheer volume of content that it's got.
It does annoy me a little bit that the Virtua Fighters mouse don't move when they win. I was playing it earlier with Wolf, and he was going
like Neo in the Matrix.
What good is a victory pose if you are unable to speak?
Oh. Loads of film references in this one as well, mate.
Yeah.
This is superb.
I think we'll leave it there and give it to our audience. You know, there must have been a few characters we missed. Who would you like to see in Fighters Megamix 2? Give us a shout in the comments below. You can catch the account at Sega Guys. You can find me at @super_D. You can't find James, but he'll be there under the Sega Guys account, won't you, mate? It's a secret.
Nobody knows where he is. He's hiding in plain sight.
What's that? It's Madagascar, isn't it? With the penguins. You didn't see anything.
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Well, mate, I think that brings us to the end. So all that's left to say is stay retro, and we will see you on the Sega side.
Sega.